Oh, ladies and gents, the Continental from the world of John Wick, episode 2. They've got to shove that in the title because they really want people to watch it. I like the first episode. Second episode, yeah, I don't know. They're trying to hang a lantern on a few bits and pieces of the dumb stuff that was in the first episode, which, funnily enough, I didn't actually touch on in my review, so we'll get to that today. Basically, my interest is waning somewhat, but we'll get to that. So, quick recap on the first episode review. I quite enjoyed it. I think the action was pretty decent. I thought it was well put together. Choreographed was quite nice. Cinematography was quite nice. All in all, I enjoyed it. Like, it's a fun romp. And you know what? Even episode 2 was a fun romp. But when you start to try to connect it to John Wick, that's when it's, I don't know, it's just when it's sort of, you got to enjoy it as it is rather than thinking it's connected to John Wick, basically, which is actually quite the sad part of it, because that universe is fun, you know, and you want it to be connected. But in the first episode, Frankie essentially sacrificed himself, allowed himself to get shot. And then it turned out that the coin press wasn't in the chest all along. And so you think to yourself, well, I mean, that was dumb, but maybe they're going to go somewhere with it. Why? And then they reveal it in this episode 2, of why Frankie allowed himself to get shot. So he could go out on his own terms. That's it. Nothing more intelligent than that, ladies and gents. Nothing more intelligent than that. Which I think that's a shame. You know? That is a shame. That's kind of dumb. Now, we've got one more episode. So there's only 3 episodes. It's like a limited series, isn't it? And it's probably going to be about an hour and a half, just like the other 2 have been. So maybe they'll be able to wrap up a lot of this stuff. But they've been weaving quite the narrative here. With Winston, the dojo owners, they're all going to go to war now with the Continental. But then there's still this detective story. She clearly knew Frankie. Somehow, doesn't know the brother, I don't think. Doesn't seem to know who Winston is, but is well aware of who Frankie is. So I wonder where they're going to go with that. Because again, you don't have too much time there to crack on with that. And I think that may be a bit of a wasted side plot. Because that'll have to wrap up quite nicely for it to have been worthwhile, quite frankly. Now, the Bowery King is no longer the Bowery King. It is Maisie, the Bowery Queen. Bit weird, I guess. It's weird how, well, whoever runs the group of homeless people in this universe, seemingly always black. That seems to be a bit of a weird thing to do, but alright, fine. Maybe Bowery King is Maisie's son, perhaps. Who knows? But I thought that was a bit lazy. It's one of those kind of gender swaps that they do here, there, and everywhere that does feel a bit lazy. It would make more of an impact if you changed that character to someone completely different, but the whole demeanor's quite similar-ish. All you've done is seemingly just swap out the gender. If they had them as some, I don't know, like quite like a bombastic individual, larger than life, that kind of thing, that would have been, a worthwhile change, because you could have explored a new type of character, but they really didn't, and that's disappointing. Winston tries to recruit the Bowery Queen, I guess. All she wants is love. Okay, fine. But I guess that kind of lays the framework as to why they would, the Bowery King and the Bowery people, why they would want to help John Wick all the time. They're very happy to lend their help, as and when, to those that have obviously earned their respect. Now, this story was primarily Sharon's story. I think they make him gay in this. There's definitely undertones, because there's a cellist that Cormac has, and the cellist sort of invites Sharon to come away with him. He's going to be working, he's going to be studying abroad, and he invites Sharon. He tries to get Sharon to come with him, and it may just be maybe platonic, but there was seemingly some kind of undertones there, I think. Cormac goes mental, of course. Murders him. Cormac, like, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, such a good actor. Really, really, really good actor, Mel Gibson. And I guess that's primarily why a lot of people hate this, because of Mel Gibson. You know, sort of his history being quite controversial. And then from there, you know, there's not a lot happens. We learn a little bit more about Yen. There's a lot of backstory for a limited show. You know, it's a limited series. It's 3 episodes. There's a lot of backstory. I mean, Yen, we learn about her backstory in Vietnam. Whoever she's with straps a suicide vest to her, a bomb vest, and sends her out so she can go into the drinking quarters of all the US Army guys. She tries to blow everyone up. It fails. The igniter fails. And that's when Frankie sees her. And then obviously from there, love blossoms. But it's a lot of backstory for a show that is going to end next week. And that's why I'm like, okay, fine. And I don't mind backstory, but is it relevant? You know, some of this stuff, the side story, the backstories, all these kind of things have got to amalgamate together for a very good conclusion. And I wonder if they'll stick the landing. But I do think it's buried under its own weight of being connected to John Wick. That's the real issue for me now. Is that connection. I didn't mind that much at the start. I didn't really care too much about the connection. But now when you're starting to align it with all these things, it does it just starts to fall apart, which is, I mean, it's unfortunate, quite frankly. It really is unfortunate. But I still enjoyed it. But I'll be intrigued to see where it goes from here. Music's good. Music's a standout. I really like the music. And, you know, I don't hate the VFX. The acting, broadly speaking, the acting is good. Broadly speaking. But again, there are some people that let it down here and there. But if you're not trying to connect it so much to John Wick, I think you'll have a good time with this. And also, just to watch Mel Gibson, you know, he's very clearly enjoying that role. He's having a good time with it. And that's fun. You know, it's fun to watch an actor embrace such a role. And he does play that sort of villainous role very, very, very well. So what do you guys think? Have you seen it? What did you think of episode 2? Again, some of the lines, a bit cringy, some of the dialogue doesn't always land. And I think that they've missed the trick here. They could have had a significant amount more, or, you know, assassins coming out, but they didn't, and that's a shame. But let me know what you think down below. I'd love to hear it. Whether you agree or disagree, or you think it's absolutely the best thing on planet Earth. Let me know. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.